He was 21 when he realized that living wasn't something he wanted to do anymore. That nothing could be helped and staying alive wasn't worth the struggle. He was 21. I remember going to his funeral, the open casket up against the wall, and the tears of pain and regret reflected in everyone's eyes. I remember his mom hugging me tight, and his brother staring at the ground. His dad just stood there. He was 21. He was leaving behind a little girl left wondering where her daddy was. He was 21. I remember my parents driving us home. The car too quiet, the quiet waiting to be broken, but no one had the nerve to shatter the silence. I remember getting the suicide is bad, don't do it talk, and I remember agreeing that it wasn't right. I was 16 when my friend hung himself in his backyard. I was 17 when I first started cutting, hopelessly hoping that by tearing open my arms, the emotions would flow out, and instead finding that the emptiness was almost worse than before. That the little sigh of relief was replaced by a gasp of pain. I was 17 when I was thrust into a hole so dark and so deep that I gave up on trying to escape. I was 17 when I first attempted suicide. By wanting to open up my arms and have my spirit flow free. My parents finally caught on to my lies, and I couldn't convince them that the tears on my arms were cat scratches, and I was 17 when I was first put into therapy. Every 2 weeks on the dot, missing school so many times a week that my friends knew that something was different with me. I explained to them that I was fine, and only the few close ones knew the vast assortments of disorders I was diagnosed with. Time went on, and my anxiety went wrong, and it pulled me in like a siren song, the kind of song that lures you into the unknown, and you don't realize you're dying until it's actually happening. I was 18 the second time. I hoped that I would fall asleep and never wake up, but all I got was a really bad stomachache and a migraine that left me wondering if I would ever try again. 6 months later, I was still fighting to get better, but the darkness consumed me again, and I was 18 when my third attempt happened. I remember waking up after trying to suffocate myself. And I remember the exact moment when I realized that by ending it all wasn't gonna end it all, that there would still be problems, and I didn't want to have anyone else live with them. So I stood up, brushed myself off, and started to think differently. I was 18 when I realized that I was beautiful. And I was 18 when I realized that I was strong, and that I was wrong to try and throw this away. I was 18 when I realized that I was wiser than I had thought, that I would stand where he wants me to stand. I will shout his name, and I will glorify him with praise. I was 18 when I realized that I could do this. That these scars don't determine what's on the outside. That these are the same scars that tell the story of my past, provide a reminder for the present, and prove my strength for the future.